appendicular. We did axial last time. Axial was all the ones that are in the center axis, so your skull, your vertebra, all the way down to your little coccyx bone, so your tailbone there. So appendicular is everything that's dangling off of that. So it's the bigger bones. And honestly, most of you should kind of already know your bigger bones, but some people don't. Those of you that have me for lecture, we've gone over that many times. 80 in the axial, there's 126 in your appendicular. So we're actually going to learn more than 10. We've got, well, yeah. We're going to learn more than 10 because your hands and your feet make up 19 of them each. So that's, 38 bones right there, which is hands and feet. Girdle, the pectoral girdle is made up of 2 bones, and that is made up of your clavicle and your scapula, basically your shoulder blade and your collarbone. So we're going to start there. So we're going to start with the clavicle. And again, I'm working off of this. So you can see we're only going to be naming 2 features on the clavicle. Okay, so we're going to be naming, so you guys that are in here have this, that way for spelling purposes you can always pull on that. And then we've got several features that we're going to look at on the scapula. All right, so the clavicle, your collarbone, while it's still on this picture, can you see that there's the clavicle and it's attaching to, what bone is this right here? That's the sternum. And so part of it is attaching to the manubrium of the sternum. Can you remember the tie area, the manubrium of the sternum? And the other is actually going to be sitting on top of this. And I have one attached over here with some, now this is a bone attached to a bone up here. So this is, we only had a couple of these that weren't. So these little things that y'all are seeing up here, these are bones attached to bones. So are these tendons or ligaments here? These are ligaments in here because bones attached to bones are ligaments. So we got some ligaments in your shoulder there. Some of you may have had a torn ligament before there. So this is going to be connecting the sternum and the scapula. And so the scapula is a really weird looking bone. So it sits about like right there. That's our clavicle. So let me show you guys that are online. So see if you could find out of y'all's bones what something that might be looking like a clavicle. It's kind of like a search and hunt. So you guys got 10 bones sitting out there. Which one do you think is the, okay? So think about size-wise. Think about this bone size-wise. Is it going to be really big? So it is what they say, an S-shaped bone. And let me go to mine. Okay. They call it an S-shaped bone. Nothing over there. But it's not really S-shaped. I mean, kind of is. You kind of maybe see it. Turn it that way. This thing's upside down. Maybe you could see the S there. So this, which I do call it, it's an S shape. Basically, it's an S that's been pulled out like that. It is actually a flat bone that sits perpendicular to your body, parallel to the ground. It does, and so it's got 2 ends on it. So you guys that have that bone, can you feel that one end is kind of a stubby feeling there, and one seems to be more flat? Can you feel it with your hands? A flatter part to it, and a more like, I don't know, like a normal bone, like an epiphysis of the bone, kind of more of a rounding. That, you guys in class, are y'all feeling that? Okay, so I need you to feel that because that's going to be where, so the one that is more pronounced, the bulkier side, that one is connecting to the sternum. Okay, and I didn't bring my little guy up there, but my little guy's back there. So he is, no, that one's not here, but well, I've got it on my PowerPoint so you can see it. So this is going to be our sternal extremity because it's going to connect to the sternum. This one actually sits on top of the scapula, and unfortunately, that's our scapula. It sits like this on top of that. Actually, this is better because these are already connected. This is showing it better. You guys online, doing the best you can. I do have it on the PowerPoint. Okay, so you can see it sitting here, and it's got that ligament there. So it sits on the back part of this scapula. So this is called the acromion process that it's sitting on. So this is called the acromial extremity. So that's the scapula. Yeah, that's the scapula. So let's go here. And so on the PowerPoint, it looks huge, guys, right? So don't think it's huge because I just held it up. It's not huge. I just blew it up so you could see the ends of it. But can you see it does have a flatter end, and it does have a more rounded, this is a much thicker end. This side is much flatter. If you're feeling the bone, you can feel it, okay? And so here's how it's sitting. I got this guy, can you see the flatter? And there is a more, let's see if I can catch him in mid-spin. I'm stopping. Nope, apparently not. Not stopping. But I found this little animation. I do like it. So can you see this one? The pointy end is going to the sternum, and the flat end is like sitting on top of this, connecting to that back part of the scapula there. So with that being said, the flatter end is called the acromial extremity. So let's label that. Let's go here. Let's label. So what bone am I looking at here? That's what this blank's for. What bone is this? You guys in class are gonna have to answer. That is the clavicle, so that little blank up there is for the clavicle, so you'll write clavicle. Basically, it's your collarbone. It's not that big. I just made it bigger so you could see, because when it's real small. So make note, it's not that big, as you can see. Actually, that might be about the same size as the one. Is it? If you put it on there, it might be close. So, but on the screen, on the overhead, it looks really big. So this is our flat end. That is not the word I'm wanting. Some of you did that on the rib. You put flat, rough. That's not what I'm looking for. So the flatter end is actually sitting on the scapula, and that is called the acromial extremity. Acromial extremity. On this end, it's connecting to the manubrium of the sternum, so this is called the sternal